Good morning, Friendship Church. I just want to say thank you, Pastor Keith, for asking me to share a part of my journey this morning on how I've been learning to rest. As some of you know, and some of you might not know, in the spring of 2009 until the fall of 2010, I had 9 traumatic events happen to me. Each one of them was crippling to my actual body, and crippling to my soul and my emotions. As these things took place, I didn't know how to make them stop. I kept telling God to make them stop, but I didn't know how to tell those around me that I needed space, I needed time. I didn't know that it was okay to say those things, and I can honestly say now that I didn't even really know what rest was back then. Last summer, after some very honest, vulnerable, hard conversations with some amazing people at Friendship Church and with the leadership at Greater Europe Mission, it was decided that I would be placed on a medical sabbatical. This medical sabbatical has been one of the hugest gifts of my life, and it has forced me to rest, and it has taught me to rest. Once I was placed on a sabbatical, I started to get some mental health treatment. One of the things is that I have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and general anxiety disorder. I've had a lot of panic attacks, and I've had many anxious nights. The biggest thing that I've had to learn with the general anxiety is how to breathe again, how to stop and to breathe and be aware of my surroundings. Someone encouraged me to come up with a prayer of peace that when I stopped to breathe, that I would breathe in the prayer and I would exhale the prayer. And so I took a few days and I really thought about it and thought about what did my soul need and what did my spirit need. And I came up with a prayer of peace. My prayer of peace is, Holy Spirit, breathe life and peace into these dry bones. Holy Spirit, breathe life and peace into these dry bones. I cannot even begin to tell you how many nights I have fallen asleep only because of my prayer of peace, only because of the deep breaths that I've taken and surrendering the anxiousness over. I'm really visualizing the Holy Spirit swooping in. The Holy Spirit really breathing in to my dry bones, and to really visualize my dry bones, to really visualize the emptiness inside of me, and allowing the Spirit to come in and to fill those voids inside of me. And so one of the greatest lessons I've learned in resting is learning to breathe. And so what I would encourage you to find your own prayer of peace. One of the other things that I've been doing in my time of rest has been secluding myself. I have been doing silent retreats where I take the weekend, I tell my family and my close friends, that I'm turning my phone off. And I actually turn it off and I put it in a corner. I check it once or twice a day. And I really just spend time in silence, waiting to listen to the Lord, and listening to what bubbles up in my heart, listening to the thoughts in my own head, and giving them space and dealing with them. I also moved to South Carolina. Didn't know anybody in South Carolina. Well, I did. I knew my best friends from college, Eric and Aaron, and they have 4 children, and they live down here in Pawleys Island, just a little bit south of Myrtle Beach. And so I moved down here to South Carolina so that all expectations were removed from me. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew my story. It was mine to tell when I was ready, and how I chose to tell it. And it really has given me space to refine myself and to rediscover myself without expectations looming over me. One of my mentors at Greater Europe Mission challenged me just to really think about who God is and who I need God to be. And so I did that. Again, I took some time and I just really thought about, who do I need God to be for me in this time of rediscovery and refining myself? And there was two things that I really settled on. I need him to be my breath of life, just like my prayer of peace. And I need him to be my rest. I need him to show me how to rest. I needed him to teach me how to rest. It's not the same for every person. Rest looks different for everybody. And so I took those two thoughts of God. I took the thought of him being my breath of life and him being my rest. And this is what I wrote. Breath of life. When I forget to breathe, I forget to breathe you. When my heart races and fear takes over, it's not a life that you have breathed over me. Are you angry that I am this way? No, it breaks your heart. Are you disappointed that I can't fully function right now? No, you have me in the palm of your hand, whispering, breathe me and rest. I am coming to believe that as these days of pain and anxiety came upon me, you wept. You deeply desired to hold back the waves of despair with your merciful hand. Yet you knew. You knew this was my path. This is my death, and it will be my beautiful resurrection. You're above, beside, and inside me, breathing in life, breathing in the beautiful resurrection that you already not only know to be true, but you behold. So I stop, I breathe. Holy Spirit, breathe life and peace into these dry bones. One of the things that I have done for myself since being on the sabbatical is that I have gotten myself a little dog. This is Fergie, the Duchess of Yorkie. She has been a little wonderful 4-pound addition to my household. It has been so great just to have something to come home to and to play with and to love and to nurture. I always put it off. I always thought there were other things I should be doing and thinking about, and with all my travels, and I finally just realized, no, I have this year and it's mine and I want a dog. And so I got a dog. And so from here on out, whatever my future holds, it is going to be me, God, and Fergie. One of the things that I was reminded of this week is that the Lord is anxious to be good to us. He's anxious to be good to me. I get anxious and fearful about so many things. I get anxious that my life isn't going to be good. For some reason, he's not going to be good to me or give me a good life. And that's just silly, because that's the exact opposite of who he is and who he longs to be in my life. And so I just want to encourage you, Friendship Church, this week to remember that God is anxious to be good to you. And that he's anxious to give you rest. No matter what that looks like for you, he's anxious to give that to you. And he's anxious to breathe life and peace into your dry bones. In closing, I just want to say thank you, Friendship Church, for all of your love and your prayers and your support. And not just even in this past year, in this year of sabbatical, when I have been desperately aware that I have needed it, but for all those years earlier when I wasn't even aware of how much I needed the prayer and I needed the rest and I needed your love and your care. Thank you for continuing and always to stand in that gap for me, to be there with open arms, whether I am in a great place or whether I am struggling and I'm not sure how to move forward. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and may the Lord bless you, and may he keep you today and for the rest of the week and for the weeks to come.